Welcome back to the channel, my little piglets, the place where we dip our moist snouts into the lovely, steaming, hot, brothy trough of current affairs and politics. Today I read to you from an article in the Telegraph from Hannah Bonan in which we wonder whether the police are interested in dealing with shoplifting anymore. Before we begin, I'd like to ask for you to bang a chutter on the subscribe, a chutter on the like button, and oink to your heart's content in the comments section below. But without further ado, let's go. Oink. Police are not interested in dealing with shoplifting, says M&S chairman retailer being forced to spend a lot of money to keep down crime amid a wave of thefts. The chairman of Marks & Spencer has claimed police are not interested in dealing with shoplifting after figures showed the majority of store thefts in some crime hotspots were going unsolved. And I can tell you now, I was in my local M&S trough area about 3 or 4 years ago actually, and these old boys came in with big old sacks and used their piglety arms to wipe off all the lovely sirloin steaks into the bags and just walked out bold as brass. Apparently, a few weeks later, the police had not even bothered to come out, and they must have stolen somewhere in the region of £1,000 of lovely beefy meat. Thankfully, not much pork though. Archie Norman said retailers are being forced to spend a lot of money on trying to keep crime rates down, including installing new camera systems and store detectives. Mr. Norman said while shoplifting rates in M&S stores were down, he added that this was mostly because of work by the retailers to tackle offences. Speaking on LBC's Nick Ferrari at breakfast, he added, "We get very little help from the police. I think we have to accept that the police are not interested in this sort of crime anymore. Whether we like it or not, that's the way it has gone." And I must say, piglets, he's pretty much spot on. Only a few weeks ago as well, in my local area, there were lots of people going around burgling all the pigsties of my fellow piglety neighbours. And the police didn't bother to come out once, only sometimes popping out the next day and asking local piglets to submit any efforts via a police app. Good God, piglets, what has gone wrong? Figures published last week suggested that just 3% of shoplifting offences were being solved by police in some parts of the UK. The first national analysis of store thefts by area revealed that locations including Soho in London, Cardiff and Leeds were struggling with high crime rates. King Edward's Parade in the centre of Eastbourne had the fewest thefts solved, with 97% of cases having no outcome. Mr. Norman noted there had been a surge in thefts since the pandemic, but the cost of living crisis has also fueled other criminal activity. He added, when people are hard up, or particularly when there's a growth in other forms of crime, particularly drug-related crime, then one way of financing it is to go and steal from shops. It's understandable, given what they've been through in the last couple of years. I imagine, piglets, this is just another demonstration of the lack of a cost-benefit analysis when it came to the introduction of lockdowns in 2020. James Cleverly, the Home Secretary, piglet, told police to start treating shoplifting as a minor crime amid concerns that the country is failing to get a grip on soaring offences. Official figures show police logged 430,104 shoplifting offences last year, a rise of 37% on the prior year and the highest level on record. However, a smaller proportion of cases were solved by the police. On a nationwide level, the proportion of cases solved fell to 10.5% from 15% a year earlier. In 2016, almost 28% of shoplifting cases were solved. Some retailers have resorted to giving shop floor workers body cameras in an attempt to deter criminals, while others have installed technology to monitor what customers are putting in their bags at self-service checkouts. Recent research from the industry body, the British Retail Consortium, found that incidents of violence and abuse to shop workers had risen to 1,300 a day last year, from 870 compared with the year earlier. The government announced a crackdown on the epidemic within stores last month, which included making it an offence to assault a retail worker. Mr. Norman had previously pointed the finger at gangs for driving higher crime rates. However, he has said theft is also creeping in among middle classes because of faulty self-checkouts. Speaking on LBC in November, Mr. Norman said shoppers were starting to seal things if items were not scanning correctly. He said, "A lot of people think this didn't scan properly, or it's very difficult to scan these things through the shop here all the time." Met Police Commander Owain Richards said the force was working with retailers across London. He added, "We know firsthand the impact that retail crime has on staff and businesses. We have renewed our commitment to tackling shoplifting and retail crime in collaboration with the wider business community. Our call handlers will assess each and every report and make the assessment based on available lines of inquiry. On Monday, Mr. Norman also hit out at Michael Gove. He wouldn't be the first one, would he, Piglet? Who has been blocking a multi-million-pound revamp of M&S's marble art store. Mr. Gove has been forced to reconsider his position to halt the project after the High Court found it to be unlawful. Mr. Norman criticised how the scheme had been held up, saying, "You can't have planning decisions made on the likes and dislikes or peccadillos of an individual who, incidentally, has never ever engaged with us. I don't think he's ever been around this building. He may have been in to buy his pyjamas or something." So there we go, Piglets. What do you think? If you own a shop or a small little pigsty, can you rely on the police to come out and actually have a look at any of the small crimes, theft or burglaries that are happening in our communities at the moment? Whatever you think, please oink to your heart's content in the comments below. Please put a trotter on the subscribe and a trotter on the like as well. Until next time, Piglets, toodle pip and trotters up.